She is looking camp right in the eye with this show. Welcome back to the Miscellaneous channel where we do miscellaneous things. I'm Zeleny. I typically cover TV, pop culture, internet trends, and other miscellaneous things on this channel, so subscribe if that's your vibe. Recently, I went to the Lifetimes tour, which is Katy Perry's currently running tour across the world. It's interesting because I am not a Katy cat. I don't identify as a Katy cat. I am a little monster through and through. Lady Gaga has always been my biggest bias. Second place, probably Charli XCX. But I did grow up listening to Katy Perry. She has so many hits. And she's had a very interesting year in the public eye.
Yes, astronaut!
She's gotten a lot of scrutiny, a lot of hate. Stan Twitter is really dogpiling on her. I've just seen a lot of criticism about this album cycle, her 1-4-3 era, and then the tour itself. I found myself agreeing more like about the album. I didn't appreciate how she handled like the criticisms around it. I don't know, just a lot of stories I've heard about her don't make me a huge fan of her, like personally. I don't know, I've never seen anything from Katy Perry that makes me want to stan particularly. But I also feel like currently the hate is just so extra and so forced. I actually went to the Teenage Dream tour in 2011. It kind of felt like I was, starting out a Pokemon journey. Sorry if this is too nerdy. I felt like I was picking my starter because Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, and Kesha all like came out at the exact same time around 2008, 2009, and they all sounded kind of similar at the time. I was in high school. So once 2011 came around, their careers had kind of established. They had like a few albums under their belts, a lot of hits. It was time for me to kind of choose who I was going to stan, who was going to be my queen for good. I ended up going to the Monster Ball in 2011, and I went to the Teenage Dream tour. That gave me my answer of who I was going to stan for the rest of my life, and that is Lady Gaga. Her show was just life-altering. I didn't go to a Kesha show until like 2018, and it was fine. It was fierce, and I still like Kesha a lot. But the Teenage Dream tour, whatever that show was still really fun. A really fun show, high energy. I mean, it was like the peak era. So looking back on it, I'm also very like grateful I got to go to like the Teenage Dream era. That was a very special era for Katy Perry and for pop music. Tied with Michael Jackson for most #1 singles or top 10 singles. Sorry, I always forget the exact stat, but I know it's tied with Michael Jackson, Thriller, which is like insane. So I've always been a huge fan of the Teenage Dream album. So a couple of weeks before the show was coming to my city, to Austin, it was my boyfriend's birthday, and I didn't really know what to get him. He didn't really know what he wanted. And then I remembered Katy Perry was coming to town soon, and I was like, let me check if there's tickets. Let me check how much they are, see if it's doable, because that could make a fun little birthday present that's like more of an experience, more of an adventure. Honestly, I was like, maybe if an artist is actually kind of flopping right now, I can actually get tickets. Because something that annoys me so much about concert culture right now is like, why do I have to be a hardcore stan, fight for my life in the Hunger Games of the Ticketmaster queue just to get nosebleed seats for $200? Like, it pisses me off that I can't just go to concerts casually, because I'm such a fan of pop music, of like pop culture moments and like tours and production, just like seeing these big arena tours and stuff. But I can only afford to go to a few because they cost so much money. You have to get tickets like a year in advance. Like if you miss the first pre-sale, you're cooked. It's so hard to attend concerts casually, and that's something I yearn for all the time. So I thought to myself, let me check Ticketmaster and see if an artist is currently going through kind of a hard time in the public eye, maybe I can actually find tickets and attend a concert casually. I love that for me. Sure enough, there were some tickets available, and they were reasonably priced for like middle bowl, really decent seats. I knew Cameron, my boyfriend, he would love just the adventure of it all. He knows the hits. I love the hits. And I imagined like a tour of Katy Perry's probably going to be pretty Teenage Dream heavy. She has so many hits that like she can almost fill a whole set list with like radio hits. And I had seen on social media like the cringy dances when she first started the US leg. She was like, people saying I can't dance? Show them this. And she's like doing a jumping jack and doing like the goofiest moves. And so I was thinking like, is the whole show like this? Like what is going on? So now I'm here and I want to report back to y'all as like a non-Katy cat, but like an appreciator of pop music, a fan of pop music and concerts, and just give kind of like an unbiased report. What was cringy, what was not, what was the best parts and the worst parts, and just give you all the tea on Katy Perry at this weird time in her career. Okay, let me get into like the format of the tour. She came to Austin, Texas. She came to the Moody Center, which is our city's basketball arena. So it was an arena tour. Her opener was Rebecca Black, which I actually was very excited for, and I was kind of also buying a ticket because I really wanted to see Rebecca Black, and she's not coming to Austin anytime soon, aside from opening for Katy Perry. And I was like, I really want to see Rebecca Black. I loved her latest EP called Salvation. If you're a fan of dance electronic music, Salvation is so freaking good. If you still think of her as like the Friday girl, gotta get down on Friday, no, she's actually really fierce right now, and a really amazing like dance pop artist. It's also cool because she's part of the Katy Perry lore universe, because Katy Perry was one of the first people to be nice to Rebecca Black when the whole world was bullying her. She put her in the Last Friday Night music video, and so Rebecca Black cameos there. So it's nice to see kind of like the full circle of Rebecca Black opening for her, even though, okay, I was so annoyed because these bitches behind me would not stop yapping during Rebecca Black's set. And I was so mad because they were Mexican and they made me embarrassed to be Mexican because, I don't know, like I get it. You know, I'm there for the opener, cringe, like who cares about the opener? Sure, but have some respect. I know we're far away, but like have some respect for the artist playing, or for at least people around you that want to see the artist. Like they're speaking fully in Spanish and their comments were just so boring and tired, and I just wanted to turn around and be like, cállense pinches viejas cotorras, estoy harta de sus comentarios estúpidos, no son nada chistosos ni interesantes, por favor, cállense el hocico. But I didn't say any of that because I was like, we're stuck here for like 3 more hours and it's gonna be really awkward that they're right behind me. And I don't want them to like pour soda on my hair and make it sticky or something. I kept my mouth shut, unlike them, and tried my best to enjoy the Rebecca Black set. It was funny, her whole theme, this EP, is like salvation, like parodying religion and like protesters with signs that say like repent and God saves, whatever they say. And it was so funny because there were, on our way into the venue, there were actual religious protesters there. And I was so confused because Katy Perry is honestly pretty tame compared to some of the other artists I've seen. So I was like surprised to see religious protesting against Katy Perry. Also, something shocking about this Katy Perry show was that there were so many children in attendance. I feel like 50% of the audience was children, which cannot be true. Like, that's not what it was. But it felt like there was that many children there. Like, you would have thought we were watching The Wiggles or something. Like, children so little, like little kids. I was so confused because I was expecting everyone to be like elder millennial, geriatric millennials that like grew up with Katy Perry. But I guess Gen Alpha found her somehow, and they're obsessed. And that's how you know that bitch is staying around because these kids have their whole lives ahead of them to buy concert tickets. But anyway, so that was kind of a gag. Like, I would expect when I went to see her that it was like all kids because it was her prime and she was just coming out. And also I was kind of scandalized because, well, Rebecca Black, at least she's very like risque with her lyrics. She's more like an artist following kind of in the Charlie XCX footsteps. And I think a lot of the kids expected her to play Friday, and she didn't. She did like a little remix part of Friday, which makes sense. Like, she probably just does not want to perform that song. I feel like the kids wanted Friday. But then also Katy Perry, I didn't realize till I was very hyper aware of how many children were around me. So many Katy Perry songs say bitch. The whole stadium of 50% children were like, PMS, like a bitch. And I'm just like, no, think of the children. Like, this is not okay. It was pretty funny. And then I Kissed a Girl too. That's like, she did dedicate I Kissed a Girl to the gay community. And I was like, girl, how about let's dedicate You're So Gay to the gay community? Like, no, it didn't feel like a particularly appropriate, like, I Kissed a Girl is such a, like, outdated view on queer behavior. I don't know, but I mean, it's iconic at this point, and everyone was just singing it, and I was singing it, like, woohoo, but it was just so, it's weird, like, I hadn't, I guess, paid attention to those songs in a while, and it was awkward, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So I watched Rebecca Black. She was fierce. Also, yeah, I'm wearing my Rebecca Black merch, which I wore to the concert. I already had it, even though they were selling it there, but I already had it at home. And then Katy Perry comes out. She does a 2-hour show, and it does have like a plot line, and it has kind of a lot of production elements going on. There's a lot of use of the arena space. The stage is like an infinity symbol, and it had this display of all these like TVs. The video you would watch for the plot of the concert was like all fragmented. So that was kind of interesting. Like, it was kind of hard to see, but also it was kind of a look. So it's intentional. All in all, the Katy Perry show was a lot better than I expected. I just had seen so much criticism online. I expected the whole show to be kind of like low budget or low effort or something. But it turns out like those dances are very carefully nitpicked as like kind of the worst or like the cringiest looking moments from the show. There's a lot of the show that is a lot more impressive and cool and like unique, that it showed me just how much Stan Twitter is not real. Because first of all, this arena packed. All those tickets I saw that weren't sold. Also, once I saw the cringy dances live, it kind of had the opposite effect, because they're so famous that I was like, it's the iconic jumping jacks move. Oh my god, it's the iconic this and this and this. And yeah, a lot of the dancing was giving me at my workout dance class, like me at Zumba. But that's just one aspect of the show, the choreography. And Katy Perry's not a choreography queen. It's not her gimmick. And Stan Twitter just expects everyone to be like at a Janet Jackson level in choreography. And most people are not. And then the people that are lacking in other areas potentially. Like Tate McRae is an amazing dancer and a mover. And she started out as a dancer. But her music doesn't really catch for me, and that's for me. And I know, sorry, Tate McRae fans, the McRacists, what do y'all call? Katy Perry is not great at dancing, but she makes up for it with a lot of things. Oh my god, we've come back around on Katy Perry. I was listening to a drag queen podcast that was saying this too, and like, she became so cringe that it's back around to being fierce at this point. She is looking camp right in the eye with this show. And it made for like an amazing, fun night. Let me do categories first, and then I'll go into like the plot. So choreography, yeah, probably one of the weakest parts. It's giving me at the gym. But she does a lot of like random ass acrobatic things, and like it was Katy Perry's jungle gym, and we were just living in it. She would go upside down in these jungle gym things. There was one point where she was like in a ball and she was climbing all around it, and then she was spinning, and I'm like, girl, what are you doing there? She gonna jump from there? This to me was the strongest part of the show. The production and the use of the space. It was fierce, honestly. Like that ball. She had that ball. She had the stage already that was like spanning kind of the length of the arena and infinity. She had this ball and other things that would bring her up and down. She had parts where she would be like harnessed and lifted around. She even had one part where she brought out like big lily pads, I guess, and she jumped from the stage to a lily pad that was like right up to like the stands, not the very highest, but like the first row of raised middle bowl, whatever. And she was like touching the front row of the middle bowl. I love when an artist really makes use of the space in a way that's like very democratic, of like she gave attention to everyone and got close to like every edge of the stage or edge of the arena. I never see artists really take advantage. Like I usually see a main stage, a catwalk, and then maybe a small secondary stage for like the acoustic or piano parts. But I rarely see, unless you're Pink doing flips and flying around the whole arena, everyone else I feel like does not make much use of the space. And she did. Like she was going around. At the very end, she was on a butterfly and it was moving. She came up right in front of our section and I saw her like I could see her eyes. It was honestly really fierce. The TVs were really cool, the screens. I mean, they were very like miscellaneous coded. I love the aesthetic. The reasoning was a little random, and I'll get into the plot, but still the production and scale of everything was really cool. Like she had like different sections of the set list, and every set list had its own crazy element to it. And so I think that was the strongest part, and it made it like a really fun, cool experience. She might not have been dancing the best, but she wasn't dancing a lot of the time. She was climbing, she was flying, she was flipping in the air. She did the flippy backwards thing. That was so fierce to see in real life. For me, that's the best part of her show. Stage design, production, variety. It made me want more artists to like make more use of the space and like visit us in the back seats in the sections. Second best thing is probably the bangers. Like it's hard to deny the hits she has in her repertoire. They hit hard. Oh my god. Let me see. And I want to hear yours. My favorite Katy Perry song has to be E.T. And that hit so hard. It was like towards the end, towards the climax of the whole thing. I hate the Kanye version, which was the radio hit version, but I don't care. The album version of E.T. is so superior. The bridge is so ethereal and beautiful, and the bridge is my favorite part, and that's the part Kanye took out and took over. But she did the bridge live, and I was like, the bridge, the fierce bridge. So I love E.T., and especially because she did it with the bridge. The only song I was like cringing about hearing was Woman's World. I was not excited to hear that. That's like, there's so many great critiques and commentary on Woman's World, and like about Woman's World, not in the song. I think people would have been a lot kinder to that song and fine with it and not critical if it had just been a banger. And it's just not a banger. Like the music video, so cringe. The lyrics, horrible. But the song itself is just nothing special. It's nothing compared to like the other hits. Another positive I would give to the show was kind of just like her energy and the stuff she would say to the audience. Like I didn't know what to expect, I guess, with Katy Perry. But it makes sense what I got. It was just like kind of cringy, but she had the energy that it became just very camp. Like, here are some quotes that she said throughout. We're all going through something. Honestly, T, we are. I'm a Scorpio, bitch. Okay. work. She did a whole like round of applause for the moms in the room. There were a lot of moms. And she was like, you got up early this morning, you packed the lunch, and then you took them to school. And then after this, you're gonna have to put them down for bed. And it's just like, tea? Yeah. Damn, being a mom sounds hard. I gave my applause. She dedicated a song to the troops, but it wasn't Part of Me. So I'm not sure why it was about the troops. It was actually right after Part of Me, but it was the next song. I don't know. And I didn't recognize the song. It wasn't one of the big hits. She just had the energy. And it was cringy and weird, but really funny. It was funny. Like cringy. I guess I shouldn't say cringy. I should say it was very campy because it was very funny. Those were my biggest positives. I think the production and use of space, all the rigging of her flying and just the movement all around and variety of all that. The music itself, the hits, you can't deny the hits. And also she sounded good. Like Katy Perry's not someone you go to see vocals. Like the music isn't even like vocally, trying to be super impressive. Like you're not going to Katy Perry expecting Adele vocals or anything. I thought the vocals were fine. They worked. She had a good backing track and everything. Whatever mix of backtrack and live they had worked. And her energy and campiness interacting with the audience, she would be like, happy birthday. And she would be like, hey, love your costumes. There was someone near in my section with like a carousel on their head. And she was like, that must have taken a lot of work.
You spent a lot of time on them. That's hot.
She was just like having fun with the audience. For such a huge venue, that's pretty impressive and cool. And yeah, so weaknesses, I would say the choreography, maybe the costumes. I mean, the costumes are whatever. I'm not like the biggest fashion snob about costumes, but it's no Beyonce, obviously, with her level of costumery. The costumes were kind of giving like comfy abstract, and she was in sneakers a lot. I don't fault her. They were still cool shapes and stuff, but it wasn't like a wow standout. And I guess that's a category of things to like judge about a pop star is like costuming. The other weakness-ish to me, which again isn't that important or anything, it's just like the plot of the show was just kind of like, okay, sure. I mean, concert plots are not, cinema or anything. It's just a vehicle to get the songs through in a order that somewhat flows. Let me go through kind of the set list. This will be spoilers if you're going or something, but some people like to be prepared and like to know the set list. So the plot was like she was in a video game and she was tasked to save the world in this video game. She's like an android or something, an avatar. Also, like, the visuals were giving AI. There was a kind of a controversy about this, and she, I think, stopped using the AI allegedly, but it still looked like AI to me. There was some potential alleged AI going on in the visuals for sure, which, if it's true, is definitely a weakness in my book. So she's like an avatar trying to save the world, and we're going through levels like a video game and collecting a heart at the end of every level. And every level is kind of like a set of songs. So the first level was apparently named Artificial. The first song was Artificial. I guess it's from the new album. I don't know it. Second song was Chained to the Rhythm, which I was kind of surprised was on here. Is that Witness era? Imagine inventing flopping. I feel so bad for her. Anyway, then was Teary Eyes, which was a song I forgot about. It's on Smile. And I love Teary Eyes, actually. Like, I played that song a lot that year that it came out. And then it was Dark Horse. And Dark Horse hits hard. Love Dark Horse. So that was the first level, and we get our heart and we move on. So the next level is the Woman's World level. So Woman's World starts with Woman's World, unfortunately. But then it goes into California Girls, Fierce, Teenage Dream, Fierce. She was doing a lot of upside down monkey bars going around during Teenage Dream. There was like this crazy like Atlas woman coming out of the ground, which at first was like nightmare fuel. It was like coming out and I was like, what the fuck is that? It's so creepy. But then it made sense. She was holding the world. So after Teenage Dream was Hot and Cold. And it was like a medley that went into Last Friday Night. I love Last Friday Night. That's probably my second favorite Katy Perry song after E.T. And then I Kissed a Girl. And she was just doing weird, like, Pilates on the ground while singing some of these songs. Whatever. We got another heart after level 2, Woman's World. Then level 3, we have Nirvana. And that has Nirvana. I don't know that song. It has Crush. I don't know that song. And then it has I'm His, He's Mine. And she did a really fun bit. She does a fun bit to introduce I'm His, He's Mine, where she like talks to someone in the pit and is like, you gotta stop DMing my man. I saw you DMing my man. He's mine. And there were actually articles written about this bit saying like Katy Perry accuses someone of sliding into her man's DMs, like as if it was serious. And that's where I'm like, see how the hate is so forced? Like, why is there articles about a bit at a con? It was a bit. And it was so fun here in Austin. She did it with a local drag queen that's really cool and does a lot of the fun pop star nights here. She's very, like, iconic looking, so I recognized her from far away. I was like, that's her in the pit. We've seen her at drag shows here. She does, like, the Gaga brunches and the Teenage Dream drag night, all these things. Katy Perry did the bit with her. It was so cute. Her name is May Magdalene here in Austin. And then after I'm His, He's Mine, she played Wide Awake. This was probably my least favorite act. I didn't know these songs, and I don't care for Wide Awake that much. So then after the third level, we get our heart. Now we have 3 hearts. And then we have a bonus level. And this was a big weakness of the show because it's a great idea in theory. It's kind of a choose your own adventure thing. So it's kind of like the Taylor Swift surprise song every show, except she has people vote between like a few songs, which one they want to hear. You can scan the QR code on the screen and it takes you to vote, which is a genius idea. I love this idea for a show. So cool, so interactive. But then me and Cameron were both trying to vote, and that shit never loaded. And I feel like I could tell everyone around me, like, it never loaded. And it wanted your email. First, I put in my email, and then I was like, let me vote. And then it never loaded. That was kind of a flop. It's an amazing idea if it works. But she was saying on the mic, like, did y'all vote? And I feel like everyone was like, no. And she's like, you voted for not like the movies? And we're all like, no. I don't know. I don't know if this is all like predestination, like it's a set in stone bit and no one can vote, or if it's like rigged. I don't know anything, but there was voter fraud, but allegedly we voted for not like the movies and the one that got away, which people were very hyped for the one that got away. And then she played All the Love, which I didn't know, but that was cute. It was like for her daughter. During this bonus level round, it was kind of more acoustic-y. She like stood in the middle and she brought up someone random from the audience. And she like scouted somebody. She was like looking all around. I don't know if this stuff is like always predetermined, but like she looked everywhere and then she's like, you with the shirt. And she brought up this little boy. And she had like a fun Q&A with him and she got him to like stand next to her while she did the one that got away. It was very cute. I mean, it was a kid. It was wholesome. He said it was his first concert. I've seen she's been doing this type of thing and bringing like a kid up during this part. It was cute for such a like kid-filled audience to see one of their own up there. So after this bonus level thing, we start getting into like more of the climax of the show. She's like fighting the evil boss. I guess the mainframe is the name of this act according to the set list. And in this one she does E.T., which hit so hard. She brought out a lightsaber for some reason. It got very Star Wars. She was fighting these big worms with smoke coming out of them. And then she went into Part of Me, which I feel like I always forget about Part of Me. And I find it kind of a cringy one because of the music video. Like, I don't like the music video being, like, military cosplay. I don't know. Hearing it live, I'm kind of living for Part of Me now. Like, I came around to it. Breaking news, I like Part of Me now. Then she ends this section with Rise, and she's, like, shooting the boss with this like arm that shoots fire and sparks out. It got very pyro. That's what I'm saying. Like, the show had like everything. Aerial shit. It had acrobatics. It had audience interaction. It had fire. It had dancers. She did have dancers, all male. Probably like 8 male dancers. They were kind of acrobatic. Like, they were on stilts sometimes. Like, she did it all. And so she beats the boss, shooting him with fire. Everything looks like it's on fire. It's pretty climactic, for sure. With beating the boss in the mainframe, she released all the butterflies, and releasing all the butterflies meant saving the world. And there was like AI crowds like, yay. That's where the plot, I was just like, okay, whatever this plot is, sure. The butterfly saved the world. But then the really cool part is she comes out of the middle on a huge butterfly and then rides around the whole arena, and everyone gets to see her up close, and it was really cool. The plot of the butterflies made no sense, but it was cool that she came out on a butterfly. During this, it's like her final, yay, we did it, and she does Roar, she does Daisies, and then she does Lifetimes, which Lifetimes also grew on me. I think that's the only song on the new album that I like. It's the only one that's like really catchy the way like her old stuff is catchy. At this point, she's like crediting the dancers, the band, and then of course the finale is Firework, and there's no encore. So yeah, it was a pretty spectacular show, all in all things considered. I had low expectations, to be honest, but it was a lot more high production value than I expected. Even the weak points that are like the plot, the choreography, maybe the costumes at times. The main takeaway from this show for me was like, literally a man could never. The scrutiny for female pop stars is just so stupid and ridiculous, and the hate is so forced. And I would like to see Ed Sheeran on a butterfly riding around an arena wearing a bejeweled corset fashion thingy, singing a banger of a pop song with fireworks going, like the Stan Wars and that crap. Like, it's so stupid. Like, and I know I've known this. Like, I'm too old for Stan Wars and shit, but like, talk about propaganda I'm not falling for. That like Katy Perry in concert wouldn't be a worthwhile experience, because it absolutely was. The production was just insane. Like, the variety of things she had was just, like, unreal. Fucking Beck just stands there. Fucking Tame Impala, Kevin Parker just stands on stage in a bunch of smoke. You can't even see him. I don't listen to many men, just Tame Impala, basically. Men just go up in a t-shirt and jeans and just, like, strum a guitar or stand around or walk back and forth on a stage, and it's just like, no one cares. No one's like, look at this cringy video of The Weeknd walking back and forth. No one says that. So the lesson here is like, we're too hard on women. They really chose like the cringiest dance moments to go viral, and I'm really glad I went. And as a fan of pop music and pop shows, it was fierce. And it made me kind of want to see Pink, because Katy Perry was doing some aerial stuff. But I bet what Pink does is crazy. I just wish I could go to more concerts casually like this. It's so not the vibe these days. And I already am spending all my money on, you know, my favorite artist. The Katy Perry show, it ate. It ate. I know y'all don't want to hear it. And it was so funny. It was so fun. When I saw the cringy dances, I was like, there it is. I was living. I would have been disappointed, honestly, to not see the cringy dances at that point. Let me know what concerts you are living for, or what artists get too much hate that you think is undeserved. And currently, I'm also running a limited edition pre-order for a t-shirt. That is my first piece of miscellaneous merch. Actually, Katy Perry herself at my show promoted it, surprisingly. She had a whole visual about touching grass. So yeah, this is the design, and it's kind of a perfect reminder in this video for stans that take things too far and take the Stan Wars too far, but also in a pretty pink pixelated simulation design. If you want to support me, if you want to support a local screen printing studio, Raw Paw, they make really quality merch, use really soft t-shirts, really great quality ink. They taught me how to screen print actually. You can pre-order that until July 1st and then they'll be gone forever, I think. You can find that pre-order link in the description below. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed. I put out new videos whenever I feel like it about TV, pop culture, internet trends, and other miscellaneous things. And you can follow me at Miscellaneous to keep up with me, or just turn on the bell notification here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!